Good morning. Welcome to Just for Today. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader at the Columbia Center for Spiritual Living in Columbia, Maryland. Today is February 8th. And so, if you're new to this offering, this is just a time where we come together to experience an eclectic spiritual reading. I don't choose them ahead of time. I have a pile of books. I just reach over and let which one speak to me that wants to be read. I read it, invite commentary from you. I share what's alive in me about it. Then we do a brief 5-minute meditation. And then I close us out with a spiritual mind treatment. Good morning, SpongeBob Comedian 16. Happy Saturday to you as well. I do encourage folks to use the chat function in whichever live stream venue you're joining us on. So, this morning's reading is from The Promise of a New Day, a book of daily meditations, and this was published by Hazelton. And so, here's what it offers us for February 8th. Begins with a quote from Elizabeth Kenny that says this: "He who angers you conquers you." And here's the reading: "It's by choice that we let others control our emotions. When we make that choice, we have advocated our personal responsibility for growth. Deciding to feel how we truly want to feel rather than giving someone else control is freeing, exhilarating, and nourishing. When we let someone anger us, we have decided to make them the object of our attention, and any intention to do what needs to be done is gone. Anger consumes us. With it, we become preoccupied, and the growth and contributions we were created for come to a standstill. Our personal power to think creatively and to take action are lost when we choose anger instead. In this way, the object of our anger decides who we are." And then the affirmation for today with this reading is: "Today, I'll be in charge of my growth, of how I choose to determine my own emotions." Feels like a tall order, doesn't it? Because there is a reality that our emotions have a physiological component, um, are triggered physiologically. But here's the catch: the physiological part of our emotions literally lasts no more than 90 seconds. And then the physiological part of it is done. If we're continuing to experience that emotion beyond 90 seconds, we are choosing it by our thought, by ruminating on it, by continuing to cycle it. And that, in fact, keeps igniting the physiological response and flooding our systems with cortisol and all kinds of other stress hormones that we really don't need. So we do get to choose our emotion. Um, I teach this acronym TFUA: our thoughts create our feelings create our urges lead to our actions. So if you're still experiencing that feeling, that emotion, more than 90 seconds later, check your thought, because that you get to change. And when we change our thinking, ta da, we change our lives. We just do. And it may not be the most comfortable, it may not be the easiest. We may have to throw some temper tantrums in the process. Okay. I think what's for me, I'll just speak for me, what's most important is not how I get there. It's not how I look on the journey. It's that I am intentional about my journey, that I'm taking responsibility, and that I'm really empowering and standing in the power of my choice. It is the most precious thing that I can point to. For me, it is the most powerful, the most precious thing that creation is as me, is the power to choose. How about you? That's all that's alive in me this morning about this emotion thing. Any thoughts? Pause here for just a moment. Okay. So, seeing nothing in the chat, I'm going to move us into our time of meditation. So, it literally is a 5-minute meditation. I invite you to literally just be with whatever thoughts come. Um, as much as you can, avoid resisting, avoid trying to get rid of your thoughts. Just be present with whatever shows up for the next 5 minutes. See what happens. Okay, here we go. With this breath, I recognize one power, one presence, one creation, one consciousness, one omniscience, one omnipotence, one omnipresence, one life, one love, one peace, one nameless, changeless, limitless, already everything, formed and unformed. In this moment, I'm choosing to call it consciousness, creation. Being all that there is nothing for it to become. Infinite possibility for it to express. Individualizing itself in unique, purposeful, one of a kind, never to be repeated expressions of itself. Never used up, never exhausted by, never depleted by the multiplicity of expressions of itself, forever expanding its experience of itself. I am that in form. I am surrounded by that in the unformed. I'm in relationship with every form of it because there is no separation. Each one of us, each expression of creation, each expression of consciousness is the totality of it expressing individualized. And so I recognize the self, the divine self, equally in what my brain classifies as others. I remember the truth of creation, that all is consciousness expressing. And I embrace the totality of consciousness expressing as human, specifically as this individualized human experience called Rafe. And I stand in awe and wonder. I live in awe and wonder. I experience in awe and wonder. And I allow myself to feel that. I remember that I am consciousness in form and that the power of choice is my divine birthright. That I choose. I choose to know how creation desires to express as me. I choose to live in alignment with that knowing. I choose to navigate this human experience with spiritual courage, with spiritual knowing, with the certainty of eternality, with the certainty that the authentic me can never be harmed. And so I allow my human process to have its 90 seconds. And then I choose. I give thanks for my human 90 seconds of emotion, for the brilliance of creation that installed those systems, the brilliance of creation that expresses as emotion. And I honor that it designed itself to be 90 seconds. And then I choose to return to my awareness, my walk, my expression of the spiritual truth that I am. And when I speak for the individualized me, I speak for the whole. There is no separation. And so I intentionally avoid specifics, recognizing and honoring that each individualized expression is individualized on purpose. But I claim and affirm that each one is aware and guided by that individualized, intuitive desire to express itself as each one. And I'm grateful. I am so incredibly grateful for the activity of creation that I call law, the scientific unfolding of life, the impartial unfolding of life that simply responds to the desires of its own heart, its own mind, its own choice in multiplicity, and says yes without judgment. It simply says yes and makes it so. So I can release in the assurance and confidence that it's already done. I can let go of wondering if it's gonna happen because I know it already has. I can let go of the lie that I need to make something happen. The human I needs to control anything. I let it all go. And I release into the glorious magnificence of creation being itself. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. So it is. Namaste.